I'm Diego, CTO of NeuroMesh, and we have the answer to decentralized AI training. So when you think about AI nowadays, I think the first words that come to your mind are probably ChatGPT, Llama, Gemini, etc. Right? But these models have nothing to do with decentralized AI. They are trained in centralized clusters by centralized companies. And the reason why there is no decentralized AI model is not because of lack of computing power. There are so many consumer-grade GPUs out there, right? But what's missing here is algorithm that can actually combine this computing power together in order to produce meaningful results. And me, myself, I believe in decentralized AI. Right? Why? Because centralized training will have a cap, will have an upper limit. And we haven't hit the limit right now, but we'll definitely hit that limit in the future. And decentralized AI will break that limit. And what we built is a distributed training network for AI models of any size from anywhere. And I want to imagine a future where the largest AI models in the world are actually trained by everyone, for everyone, and with governance owned by everyone. So we are going to use the Web3 approach, mobilizing idle GPU resources around the world. So I want you to think of us like OpenAI in 2017 plus Web3 for massive cost reduction because of the GPUs we are going to use. And our technical foundation relies on predictive coding networks. This is a machine learning algorithm that has been under research by Oxford Laboratory in the past 7 years, with over 100 papers in top conferences such as Nature, ICLR, SMAL, NeuroIPS, etc. It presents with some good properties that are very good for distributed training. The first one is being it has a much lower network cost. Then it can run in a fully parallel and fully localized way, paving way for asynchronous learning. It also supports complete data privacy, and more importantly, it can have any topological structure, which can be better explained using this slide. So on the left-hand side, you have how ChatGPT is structured, how it's being trained via backpropagation. On the right-hand side, you have the kind of network structures that PCN can support, which is much more complex and suited for distributed training. And we have already proved the feasibility on small model training. So we trained PCN using small models, achieving about the same loss and accuracy on that. And to talk a little bit about our business model, so we'll have a token to incentivize both, let's say, supply and demand. So on the supply side, what I'm talking about is basically GPUs. So we use our token to incentivize GPUs to join our network. On the demand side, people who have inference, fine-tuning, training needs, they come to us and they pay us with fiat. And we'll also incentivize them, giving them some discount using our token. And with the token, what we want to build is actually an ecosystem around our platform. We want to build and position ourselves as the operating system for decentralized AI, offering not only training, but also fine-tuning and inference as a service. And we are also already partnering with some partners in terms of decentralized data and decentralized computing power. And we want to think of ourselves as the bridge, as a portal between Web 2 and Web 3, bringing in Web 2 demand and Web 3 demand into Web 3 infrastructure. And in terms of roadmap, we are launching our first product soon in Q3 this year. And in the coming years, we'll improve that product and add more service to it. In terms of our team, we are a team based in London, actually. And we have Sean, who is a NTU Singapore PhD, and very experienced Web3 entrepreneur. We have a 10-year Googler who used to be a multi-tier organization manager back in Google. And me, actually grew up in Spain, hence my Spanish name, Diego. And then I actually grew up in Spain, yeah. So I graduated from the University of Oxford, and I joined Meta for a couple of years and quit recently because it was a bit too boring for me, I guess. And then our CMO is a very experienced manager. She used to manage projects of more than $2.5 billion value back in Latin America. Our research team, we have the same researchers that actually work in the laboratory back in Oxford, and together they published over half of the influential papers in this area. And they actually co-wrote the first PCN library back in Oxford, so very hands-on people. And then we also have researchers from Google DeepMind and Google Research as well in our team. In terms of engineering, we have Dr. Alvis, who used to be a VP of an AI unicorn, but he also quit his job to join us. So he's now our VP. And he's very experienced in training, fine-tuning, and inference in large AI models, especially in the game sector. And also on the marketing side, we have James, OK's former CEO of overseas markets, supervising our tokenomics and go-to-market strategy and working closely with us. Now, lastly, I think I want to just give some kind of analogy to better understand what we are building, right? I want to use wheels, right? Wheels are very simple. So if you have a single wheel, you can't do much about it. And I want to compare a single wheel to a GPU. And what centralized training does is you build a huge wheel. and you're running this huge wheel. But what we do is that you give us, let's say, 4 wheels, 4 small wheels, we build a car for you. You give us 8 wheels, 8 GPUs, we can probably build a van for you. If you give us 100, we can build a train. And if you give us 10,000, maybe we can build a spaceship. So that's what we do. We are the algorithm that combines the GPUs together to achieve this distributed training. And what I want you to think about this is that we remove the cap on AI training. If you train centralized clusters, there will be a limit to model size to the amount of data you can train. But if you distribute in a decentralized manner, you'll remove that cap and basically raise the AI's future to a much higher level. So I guess what I want to say at last is that I believe we hold the key to AI's future, and please join us and help us unlock AI's future. Thank you.
Diego, thank you very much. Do we have any questions from our judges?
Yes, actually. Thanks for the presentation. Very cool network you guys are working on. As everyone in this room is well aware, there's a shortage in terms of supply of the GPUs relative to the demand. So how do you guys plan to source the GPUs for your network, given that most of the buyers are like 5 or 6 companies, right?
Yeah. I think you're thinking in terms of A100, H100s, but we don't actually require those because we have a much lower network cost, so we can use 4090s, 4080s. I want you to think about the difference between A100s and 4090s. They have the same amount of computing, or almost the same amount of computing power. What's the difference? The difference is in RAM and in, let's say, transmission rate. And those are the issues we have solved using PCN. So we have much lower transmission rate, so we can utilize those GPUs better in a more heterogeneous environment.
So the folks that are providing compute, these are what, former Bitcoin miners? These are folks who are buying secondhand from the hyperscalers and putting it somewhere else in a data center? Like, who's got this compute?
So I think there are several companies we are already working with, like EMC, like IO.net, to provide those GPUs. But as well, we want to target those miners as well. For example, the Ethereum era, right? There's so many GPUs, like say 3080s are also very good for our network.
And then as, let's say, the supply of GPUs gets more sorted, even with H100s becoming more available and folks using older versions of this, the costs will come down, even using a centralized source, right? So what's the price performance of you guys relative to a cloud that's got older GPUs that you can just rent from them?
I think we offer like much higher level, which is the training service itself and inference service itself. In terms of price, I can't tell you the exact number, but I can guarantee it's much, even if the H100, A100, they go down, our price will also go down, right? They eventually are better GPUs than 4090s and 4080s. But the exact number is still to be figured out.
So I personally believe decentralized AI is the future, but often the performance and largeness of a model and efficiency is the trade-off. So can you speak to your performance a little bit and also your go-to-market strategy? Because quite a few very influential, powerful figures are working on this solution as well.
Yeah. So in terms of performance, I can say that this algorithm 2 years back wasn't ready because it was very slow doing training as well. So it used to be, 10 times slower than backpropagation. But it has gone a long way since then. There have been a lot, like 3-4 papers along the way that has improved its performance, at least in training speed, to be almost exactly the same as backpropagation. And a more recent paper actually improved it to better than backpropagation, but has some converging issues. So we use our other algorithm for that. So in terms of training performance, if the model size is similar, we should achieve similar training time as backpropagation. Of course, the distributed environment will introduce some latency, but since we can actually divide and conquer the models, so the introduced latency should be controllable. Maybe 2 times slower, I think, by my estimations. And the other thing was go-to-market strategy, I believe. Yeah, so the go-to-market strategy, we already have, since the main strategy we have is that we offer a much lower cost in terms of inferencing, because we are using our token to, let's say, equity, right, to incentivize everything. And we also use the token to incentivize demand to come in. So we already have Kmo.ai, which is an AI startup for agents. And they actually have a lot of inferencing on small models, which is perfect for us. And then there is also Tatos XYZ. We are helping them in fine-tuning their models because we have a lot of AI experts in our team. But the main thing here is that if you come to us, you train your inference, you fine-tune with us, we give us part of a token as a reward, which is actually holding like a part of our equity. I think that's the main go-to-market strategy, giving a lot of discount. Like the price is already lower, but we give additional discount based on our token.